Hi everybody, hi, hello, and welcome. How are you? Welcome to Tarot with Anne-Marie on this, our lovely tuition, where we are talking about our Lover's card tonight. So welcome, welcome. I hope you are well. I know it's a very busy week for all of us. And before I forget, happy winter solstice. So, I have a little guest with me tonight, as you can see. That's because he has been in surgery. And I've got another 10 indoors, and yeah, he's got to be separated because of his stitches. Never mind. So here and there, you will see Jack, and he is our guest. So lovely to see you all. I hope everybody is well. Okay, so what have we got in store? We are talking about the lovers, and you know, there's a lot to that card that people actually presume, quite simply, that by its name, it's about romantic love. It can be a little bit more than just romantic love. And that's where we're going to kind of find out exactly what this all is about. I hope everybody can see all right. And yeah, I'm just going to share the link in case anybody would like to actually come on and take part, as in and ask questions. You can come on camera. There is a link, and I'm going to show you that link now before I jump into our scene. Hello, hi Zoe. This is Jack. Hi, yeah. Unintentional, but Jack's had surgery. Say hi to everybody. And he is just a little bit lonely because he's having to be separated. Okay, thanks, Tony. Yeah, he's having to be separated because of the risk of injury. Anyway, let me share the link, and if anyone wants to know about Jack, then you can. Hi, Passionate Saji, how are you doing? Hi. Happy winter solstice. Hope you're well. So, if anybody's wanting to join, I've got Anthony, I've got Zoe, I've got Passionate Saji. You're welcome to do that, as in, and we can have a chat about what you think the lovers means, or ask questions about what the lovers means. So it's getting close to Christmas as well, isn't it? So I'm sure everybody is really, really busy. One of my lights has failed tonight, so if it looks a bit yellowy or a bit different, hopefully we'll get that sorted. We've had a raging storm. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do this live. It's been that difficult a day. But luckily stopped just in time, about an hour beforehand. So there you go. Hi, Guz. Hi, how are you? How are you doing, Guz? I hope things are good. You're good. Excellent, Passionate Saji. Excellent. So here's the link. And I've just put Jack down. Hopefully he will wander about on his own in the studio here. So, how are you, everybody? Are you well? I do hope so. It's cold out there, it's wet, it's miserable, it's storms, and wherever you are, I hope that you are cozy. Right, sorry, my screen seems to be failing me a little bit. So, let's do some keywords about the lovers, okay? First of all, I want to say that, if you hear that, that's Jack playing with the bin underneath, I'm sorry. Okay, a lover's card is associated with the astrological sign of Gemini. And Gemini is all about communication because it is linked to Mercury. And some keywords on this card, just for your information, are it's to do with short journeys, but you didn't know that one. Physical attraction, perhaps that's a little obvious. Choices to be made in relationships. Also, this is a card that, and I want to say this exactly as it is, it can actually represent that there's a third party that may be involved in the relationship Now, let's just hold it there for a minute and explain. If you look at the mountain that is in between our two figures, and I will talk about those in a minute, that mountain represents obstacles. Now, you know I talk about reading with pairs using a major and minor card. So if there was a minor card next to this, which we'll be doing next week, okay, and it's court card, it's possible that there's a third party interfering. Now that does not mean there is another man or another woman of a romantic or sexual nature. It just means there may be somebody sticking their oar in and affecting the background influences between the communication of our lovers, i.e. And the Lover's card doesn't necessarily have to be a man and a woman. The Lover's card can be a relationship with yourself. It can be a relationship as in it's platonic. It can be that of the same sex, of course, because of course there are sexual, physical and loving relationships of the same sex, but there are also platonic of the same sex and the opposite sex, okay? So don't make the mistake of always thinking that the Lovers is about romantic, sexual, physical attraction. It depends on where it is in your spread. It depends on what card comes up before it, or in my case, as a pair, okay? So I do hope that that actually gives you some insight, you know. It's very easy for a reader to kind of jump in there and say, oh, I know what this means and it's that. It may not always be the case, okay? So it can represent the fact that there are choices that have to be made in a relationship. It's a card of temptation. Now that's not a temptation with another human being or another relationship. It can be a card of temptation because there's something that we are tempted to do. You know, we can have temptations to break the status quo, we can have temptations to actually overindulge, we can have temptations in, I don't know, wanting to do something that we go, oh, to heck with it, you know, I know nobody's going to approve, but, you know, what of it? It's also a card of possible reconciliation, and that reconciliation is very much, sorry everybody, it's going to be one of those tonight, and I hope the Jack's not disturbing my mic too much. So yeah, a card of reconciliation. So it can be a card of you are getting back within, as I said, platonic or spiritual or loving or romantic or marriage or emotional contracts or even physical. Sometimes relationships can just be purely that of the physical desire. It's also a card of commitment. So there's plenty going on with this, isn't there? Choices of the heart and of building a life together. So there's an awful lot there that actually comes out with our card, the Lovers. And some key words that I just went over for you is, you know, it's about having love, harmony, all our relationships, like I mentioned, I wanted to get that in early. It's about our values. It's about our alignment with things. It's also about the choice between the mind and the heart, about choices in a big way. So this is a card of choice, choosing the right path, choosing to give self-love, self-care, to appreciate who we are. And it's a card of communication. Big card of communication because it is linked heavily to Gemini, and that astrological association goes with Mercury, which is all about our communication. Hi Victor, hello. Victor's saying hi. Okay, lovely to see you. Okay, thanks very much, Victor. Right. Hello, Anne-Marie in chat. Missed last week. You did well. Look on it later as well. Okay, with you. Thanks, Victor. Happy winter solstice, my lovely. Okay. As I talked about, it is a card of having some obstacles, mountains. Mountains in tarot are always about obstacles and challenges. And the mountain is the problem. So, as I said, if you're using a pair, and do tune in on Tuesday when we're doing combinations, where you can actually see when you fuse it with another card, how much it will help you know which of the keywords I've just mentioned. Because do you see what I mean? It's one of those cards where it's important that you understand that it's not just go for the obvious. Okay, I know that can be true of any card, but it's so easy, isn't it, to kind of go, oh, it's all about love and it's this and that and the other. And it could actually be come up in a position of the self-love, you know, making the right choices for you. Okay. The mountain, as I said, is the problem between the two of them. And so the two of them, what's that about? Well, it's actually the duality of us. It's also that's why it's a card of maybe, you know, looking at your own self-love and what you need to look at and what's the obstacle. Maybe you're too busy. Maybe you don't make enough time for yourself. Maybe you put other people first. Maybe you're too hard on yourself. All this kind of thing. So it's about telling yourself to choose the very best version of yourself. Right, so let's have a look at this card. I'm sorry, scratchy. Thought I'd wear a nice sparkly top for Christmas, and it's like, now I'm regretting the scratchy glitter, so sorry about that. It's telling you to choose the very best version of yourself, of course. But in this card, we've got the sun, and we've got that angel, and we've got the angel with, it's a red-winged angel, depends on the deck you're using, of course, and it's got flaming hair. Can you see that? You know, it's almost like leaves, as in, I see that as autumn leaves. Hi, Carla, how are you? How are you? How are you? Lovely to see you. Okay, let's say hi to Carla. Hi, Carla. Oh, that didn't work. It's there. It's there. Sorry, I couldn't see it with my controls. So this red-winged angel is appearing amongst these clouds, as you can see, okay? And it appears that the angel is blessing the man and the woman, are figures in the cards, perhaps because of their union of the divine, you know. Oh, I approve, you know, his blessing. Now, if we look, there are two trees behind our figures. And that tree behind the man has flames, you know. And it's like 12 glowing flames, which is representing the 12 signs of the zodiac, which represents time and eternity. See, I told you there's a lot to this card. Behind the woman is another tree, entirely different here, okay? And so this is a fruit-bearing tree, and this is the tree of knowledge for Our Lady. And this symbolizes the desire for sensation, okay? The male figure in this card is sometimes known as, our figures are thought of as in the Garden of Eden, and that it is Adam and Eve. And that the male figure is the mind and the rationality. And the female figure is the heart, the emotion, and the underlying theme of indecision. There is a snake on that tree behind our figure, the woman, and that represents temptation and sensual pleasures, okay? And so the Lover's card is showing a naked man and woman standing beneath our angel, and that's Angel Raphael. And the name Raphael means God heals, and it represents our physical and our emotional healing. So there is a blessing coming from this angel, reminding them to, you've got a union going on here. And the couple are standing in what looks like a fertile landscape, which is, as I said, reminds us of the Garden of Eden. And so that is, our theme there. Now we've got the yellow of the sun, which represents confidence, energy, enlightenment, and it's also about our personal quest, desires, what we personally want for ourselves. Most of us, have ambitions, but some of them are very personal and some of them are very worldly. So the sun is representing that, and it's giving the light and the source and the energy to our couple. As I said, the man and woman are kind of in this scene, in this garden, and the man's looking at the woman. Look at that. She's not looking at him. She's looking up at the angel. And what that's about is it's showing that he's watching our woman and she's watching the angel, because what she is looking for is she wants to know what is the path of the conscious that will lead on to the subconscious that will lead on to the superconscious. Or, in his case, he's looking at her for the physical desire, and hopefully that will lead to his emotional needs and his spiritual concerns. And the volcanic mountain in the background represents the problems that the couple will be challenged with, perhaps in the future. Now, when you get this card, there's a lot there. But as I said, make it easy by using pairs or looking at the position. Quite often people sort of say, I asked it this and I got this card, and what's it mean, everybody? I don't understand. I asked it about work. How come I got this? Well, it's choices at work. Yeah. If it's about the fact, well, I've had a row with my neighbour, it's like it's choices about communication and reconciliation. You see, there's a whole list that I gave you. And if you start to really tap in to all of the meanings, and I know it's really hard, but I would urge you to really, really not just dump into that simplistic love interpretation. Ask your question thoughtfully. Don't say, oh, what do I need to know today? People do, I know, but when you're learning tarot, it's probably not very helpful, because, you may not be able to decode all of it and know exactly what it means. Okay, Jack, I'm going to put you down because, you need a moment. I'm really sorry, folks, but I'm sure you understand. I need to keep him separate from everybody else. Oh, good. Okay. Hi, Anthony. Hi, how are you doing? So has anybody got any questions so far? There must be some. No? Okay, right. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. All right, no questions? Anybody want to come on? Zoe, are you popping on tonight? I think Victor's sort of in and out. I'm going to watch it later, so I dare say he's not coming in. And what it will all sort of up to for Christmas, the holiday time. Okay, so it's very easy, isn't it, to make the mistake of, I've got some cards in front of me that I'm going to be showing you later. It's very easy to make the mistake to actually say, okay, I'm going to interpret the Lovers as solely a card for romantic love. Very easy to make that mistake. There's a lot more to it. There's broader implications. And of course, the art and the trick is to know which one is which, isn't it? And how you're going to be able to do that. Don't look at it as just romantic is the biggest piece of advice I can give you. Look at it as choices. Look at it as partnerships. Okay. And look at it as inner harmony. and then look at the position that it's in to tell you what it's about. Is it about you? Is it about someone else? You see, even if you don't know a spread, you can ask a question. What do I need to know about me? What do I need to know about X, whatever their name is, so that you are clear, okay? And knowing your star signs or your zodiac signs that are astrologically associated with your cards. Not all of them have them, by the way. Some are linked to planets, okay? But in the Lover's case, it's Gemini. So, if this came up and it was about Gemini, well, there you go. It tells you it's all about them. But it's also an aspect of you sometimes, Depends in the position of your spread, and it also depends on the surrounding cards, okay? I think there's a tendency to see things in terms of, good versus bad with this card, and that can be a bit of a mistake if you're a reader, I think, all the other cards are. I think it's much more of a duality. That's why you've got Adam and Eve there, okay? The clouds, by the way, clouds in tarot are always about the things that are covered up, yeah? When you've got a cloud, it's a covering. We can't see everything. It's disguised. It's a bit like people saying, oh, there's no sun today. There is, It's just that there's clouds and you can't see it. It's that time of year. We've had rain, we've had thunder. You'd think it was midnight. You'd think it was a horror film here today. Quite simply with the weather. I'm pleased that, it's gone. Otherwise, I'm sorry, that's Jack scratching on his bed. So my apologies. I hope that you will know that, he is part of my family, and I have a lot of rescue dogs. And of course, they're very curious about his surgery. He's had a very big operation. It's been done twice in 1 week, on the same day, actually, unfortunately for Jack. But he's healing, and he's just got to be kept separate, and that's a bit unusual for him when he's used to his siblings around him. So my apologies for that. He's a good boy, really. I'm telling you, he really is. I wouldn't bring him in here if I thought he was going to bark. So, and I thought it'd be a treat for you to meet, a little cutie pie. So, if you think that your cards are very nuanced, and what I mean by that is there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of layers, there's a lot of meanings, and recognise the different sort of shades of grey and diverse sort of considerations that can come out from this card, you will not go wrong. And I remember when I was learning a long, long time ago, there were so many sort of meanings like these keywords, and it's like, which one is it? You can only find out which one it is by actually directing your question very carefully towards the tarot. Don't say, is it this or that? You need to phrase your question carefully, You would like, good. I want to know the meaning of the Lovers when I do a reading on myself. Okay, excellent question. Okay, so let's make that a teeny bit bigger and bring that there. It's a lovely question. Okay, so if it's about yourself, it's about choices. It's about the choices that you need to make within yourself. It's about the fact that you are probably feeling a duality between two different sort of opposites, They can be seen as one is the good you and one is the naughty you, like the cartoon characters of the angel and the devil. Not quite like that, but you know what I mean, as in the good and the bad, okay? I can see what's... Right, when you pick this card, should you think of it as relationship meaning? Well, if you're asking about a relationship, yes. But if you're not asking about a relationship, it's more to do with the diverse meanings that I've actually sort of mentioned, which is choices and self-love and self-care and weighing up the duality of the two different sides of you. it could be about listening to your own thoughts, because it's about communication. So I don't want to talk to myself. We talk to ourselves all the time up here. So it's about the communication in your thoughts and your speech and in your choices, and the choices in which you can actually make. Passionate Sati is saying she sometimes gets this as a twin flame. Yeah. Most definitely it can actually, a lot of readers would interpret it as twin flame. It's not my speciality, and I tend to actually not know much on the twin flame sort of subject, simply because my school of thought is a little different. But yes, I've heard that many times. Absolutely. I think the thing with twin flames is people can sort of get confused between twin flames and soulmates and this, that and the other. I like to stay away from all of that, not because it's wrong, but simply because I think it becomes quite complicated when you're reading for somebody and their thinking is like that, and if they can think broader, it's easier. So when you pick this card, I think that it's a relationship meaning. You know, it can be telling you about relationships in a big way, of course, most definitely. And you may not even be asking, but that might pop up and actually be there for a reason. You need to look at the cards as in that are before it, the position that you've put it in, how you've asked your question, and whether it's about you, whether it's about someone else. Or, you know, if this comes up in a position and it's to do with the past, it's like, well, maybe there's a reconciliation. You know, if this comes up in the future, it's like, okay, you know, in communication, there may be some challenges. If this comes up in the influences of others, it may be, although you're in a happy and loving relationship, that there's outside interference going on. And that can be your work. That can be, you know, our family. I'm not going to mention anyone in particular, because I don't particularly want to say it's going to be mother-in-law or this or that or the other, but do you see what I mean? It's just looking at it and going, what was my question? You know, I'll give you an example that I saw in a group yesterday. Somebody, it wasn't the Lover's card, but it applies to any card, of course. Somebody turned around and said, I asked the cards, why do I not trust this person? They didn't say whether male or female, and this was from a female. And it was a court card, okay? And the problem was, you've asked, why do I not trust this person? You've pulled one card, okay? And I'll tell you, you know, it was a queen, okay? A court card. The thing is, you can't give any help with that. People were, oh, it's this, it's that, and it's the other, and it's like, actually, you know, you've asked a question in a way that, okay, a court card's come up, and a court card is an aspect of you, and it's an aspect of others. It's both. But the trouble is that the way the question had been phrased, you know, and they went on to say, let me think about this, it was, why don't I trust this person? They've done absolutely nothing. There's nothing there. There's no evidence. They didn't say it's a gut feeling, just didn't say it was an emotion. It's the way it was phrased. And I know when you're typing in a group, we're all a bit fast, aren't we? But you mustn't. You must take your time and go, okay, I would have phrased that very differently. And I would have actually said, okay, I'm mistrustful of this person. Can you tell me about them? Or, why am I mistrustful? Is this an emotion, or is this intuition? And based on that, you see, your question is everything. And the worst thing that people will do to you is go, and you'll find this, oh, just general, just put them out. And you see, then we're going with exactly that. And that's not what they want. They want you to read their mind. And you can't argue, but what you can say is, well, you know, for the time that we've got, it might be helpful if we are in a position to be able to just get to the heart of the matter. And, you know, if they don't, they don't. You've done your best, you've offered it. And then at the end, if they go, oh gosh, you know, I really want to ask about this, which they will, and you've covered a lot of stuff, it's like, I really wanted to know that. You don't tell them off, you just turn around and go, of course, let's look at that for you. And eventually, when they're ready, you see they're vulnerable. And they do think that you know everything, and you don't. And they do think that because you're psychic, that you can read their minds. And we're all psychic, but that wouldn't be very nice, tuning into everybody's business in their head. No way. Okay? So, simple as that. All right, now then, I don't know if we've got any more questions. So, we are nearing the end. Before we go, I'm going to show you a little helpful PDF that may help you on your journey. Okay, so coming up for the new year, it's important that you make notes, as in, I'm not suggesting it has to be this one, but I have on the website a tarot journal. Mine was an exercise book, and I wished I had labelled the dates. I did actually with each lesson, but I've got book after book. So, what does this involve? I've actually, you can download it, it's very cheap. It's not hardback, of course, it's a download, and you have all the cards there, okay? So you can make notes. And the beauty of this, rather than being a book, which I really like, is you may have a lot more to say on one card than another. So all you do is you go back, and if it's loads on the Hierophant, you can keep printing off the Hierophant, can't you? Or you can actually print off the spare pages that I've done on the back. And so that's the Lovers. And it goes on, and I've done the card there for you because I thought that would help, okay, just so that you've got something to go with. And the minor cards are there as well, okay, and I've gone right through for you, keeping it nice and simple. So if it helps you, you know, you're very welcome to turn around and download this. It's very cheap, as in, but I thought something I would have loved was no such thing as a tarot journal that you could buy. You made your own. Okay, and I've got loads and they're lovely, but I've also got this one, and yeah, I still make notes, and you know, it's really, really helpful to be able to go back to your notes. You wouldn't believe how many times I've done that. It's so useful to be able, you know, there's some spare sheets there, different blank, you've got lines, whatever you want, you know, so I hope that that helps. There you go. I've done that for you. So if you've done a reading and I've put it as pairs, which is how I sort of work. If not, fine, you might just choose 2 cards because that's what you want to do. So whatever it is that makes you happy, you know, journaling is definitely the way to go. You are too kind, Goose. You're too kind. Thank you very much. It was a big rush today. Once again, I don't know how it works out that I have the busiest days when I have lives. It's busy all the time with 11 dogs, I can assure you, but they're very well behaved. Most of the time you don't hear them. Okay, so, oh, bless you. Thank you very much. Well, I am really, that means a lot. Thank you very much. As in, he's recovering, as you can see. Happy as Larry, gone off. He's been spoiled, has him, because I've had to make sure that he has his comfort because of his stitches. He's got a lot of stitches in his stomach due to a genetic problem that kept rearing its head up, so it had to be done. But it wasn't an accident, it was a genetic thing and it needed to be sorted. Okay, so, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move my keyboard and hopefully you'll be able to see my next scene. Okay, the internet's a bit slow. And here I am. Thank you. Right, I'll just move my mouse. Right. Indeed I do. It's called Tarot Talk. And there's a lot of people in it, but I find that they're not quite a talkative bunch. But yes, I do. I've had it for about 3 or 4 years now. Yeah, Tarot Talk. Okay. I don't know if somebody can type that and I can bring that up. Tarot Talk. Okay. And there are a couple. Ours is it's white writing with blue smoke. I should actually bring that up. Oh, it's lovely to see you, Passionate Saji. I think that I also need to go into the website, and I want to send you a little something, because I think something pinged up today in the midst of when I was reading for people, so I couldn't look at it, and then I had to dash and get ready for this. Where you've joined the website. I think that's great. So thank you very much for that, Passionate Saji. But yeah, Tarot Talk, I just warn you, they're a quiet bunch. It's me that does a lot of the talking, and I've got a lovely lady who does a lot of posting in there. So yeah, I do indeed. Yeah, and it's very warm, but they're quiet. They're a bit shy. Tarot Talk, yes, and Tarot Talk, and a goose has popped it in there. There we go. And so is Tony. And it's written like that. Yeah? Okay. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Agus. I do indeed. Yeah. Okay. So, what have I got on the table? Thank you very much. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. And go wild, go in there, even if they, I talk to them all the time. I think they're paying attention and listening. And just absorbing, yeah, sometimes. So yeah, sometimes a bit like on here, I thought I'd have more people going, me, I'd like to come on, but it takes time, doesn't it? So gosh, thank you so much. Right, so all of these are tarot cards about the lovers. Okay, I'll try and just got a light there. Okay, do the very best I can, but 2 lights went. I think that was to do with the storm, so my apologies. I'll try and bring the brightness up on that. Bear with me. Okay, because I'm filming from above. Maybe that will actually help a little bit. Okay, you're not getting the true colour of the cards, because some of the green, this is green. I've got a green screen here on the table so that I can show you various things, rather than, I used to do it on the table and it was lost, so we wanted to keep it really plain so you could see the detail as much as possible. Okay, so this is the Light Seers Lovers. Lovely. But again, beautiful decks, all right? But look at the difference. All this symbolic detail, there's Adam, there's Eve. By the way, I wanted to say their nakedness is also kind of important, and that's to do with their innocence and their adolescence and their physical attraction, of course, but it also is representing the temptation that I talked about. Okay, we could be tempted to always think it's about love. I'm tempted to go and have, too much chocolate because I like it, or too much coffee. I used to be definitely hooked on things like Diet Coke. Years and years of drinking pints and litres of that stuff, I tell you. So the love is beautiful, but hard when you are getting started. Once you are actually, even if you do know that you've read for years, you can really favour the fact that the details, or just looking at that card and you're off, okay? Some people can read with any deck. I could even turn around and sort of get going with playing cards, The major cards are missing. And so therefore what I would do is actually say, okay, I want to pick from sort of 1 to 22 and ask somebody to give me a number, and I would then balance that with the cards. So if I didn't have that with me and I had playing cards, I would use pairs by using the minor card from the playing cards, and I would actually go, okay, well, the number 6 is the Lovers. If it's 7, it would be the Chariot. If it was 8, it would be Strength. So I would know that, and then I would be able to fuse it with whatever minor card came up. Okay. Sometimes I've done it with none, when I said, right, give me one number between 1 and 22, and one number between 156. I've actually done a PDF that I thought I might do a little sort of short on one day or a live, but there you go. Anyway, this one speaks for itself. Again, the image is there, but again, it could make you think what I was saying. It's only about that. It's only about that. You see? And then you can kind of go into it. I like this. I think this is great. Love of the dog, been together a very long time, seasoned together, young love, children here, the swans in the background, the greenery's there, there's some fairies in there, there's some petals. The way that is, I thought it was a horn on his head for a moment, when I first looked at the deck. But this is a great deck, and this is called the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. I think this is pretty special because I think that they deal with a lot of modern images that might help you if you find, I remember teaching Lee and Clark a few years ago, and Clark really got it, and Lee went to me, I don't know what to do. And I said, what? And he said, I don't know what that means. And I said, oh, the Roman numeral. And he said, yeah, I haven't got a clue. Very smart lad, but just had this blank when it came to Roman numerals. So sometimes, these kind of cards, they have all gone for that, apart from this one, which, if you can see, is the number 6. I should be able to zoom that in a little bit. Yeah, even that, it's tiny, but it's there. Yeah, so, and then we've got the borderless Rider-Waite. Zoom that out again. Okay, and this is lovely. That's got all the details that we were talking about. This I had to include because it's Christmas and it's winter, and it's the lovers and the winter weight. I really like the person that actually designed these cards. I don't know them, but I have a lot of their decks. I've got the Groovy Weight deck, I've got the Winter Weight deck, I've got the Tripping. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Love, love, love the actual sort of images in that. They're colourful, they're bright, nothing's changed. They've just made it something a little bit different. It's the colours, it's a little bit more modern. It's, choosing a deck because you like it, collecting it, can you read with it? That may not matter, but if you are struggling, go back to something that works for you. And universally, Rider-Waite, whether it's this one, and this is Rider-Waite base, so this also would be fine. Yeah, the colours would be a bit different, but that's what's great, the colours, you always hear me talking about the colours, the red wings, on this angel, that's all about passion. We talked about the sun, we talked about the clouds, lack of visibility, not seeing everything. The 12 sort of zodiac signs, you're not getting that. I mean, maybe here as in the petals, but I don't think so. You're not getting that. And so what is the meaning of that? It's very, very important that the 12 signs of the zodiac are there to represent time and eternity. So it's all about that. Sorry, Druidcraft. I couldn't think for a minute. I always call it my Celtic one, Druidcraft Tarot. I just want to say that this, if anybody ever gets this, it doesn't come like this. I've got small hands and I couldn't shuffle the cards. They were much bigger than this, really quite big. So I cut the border off, not very well, by the way, but, I did want to include this. I wish I was better at doing that, but there you go. Absolutely gorgeous deck. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a fun deck. This was given to me by a client, and that's the Lovers. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, and yeah, you get the picture. But again, there's not much more than being given that message. It's all about two people, physical, emotional. You see where a reader would suddenly go, yeah? Again, here. And it does keep happening. That's the Urban Tarot deck. This one is fantastical menagerie deck. So it's animals in there. Same sort of thing, you know, bit of a courtship. Yeah? Maybe third party behind going, That does sort of say there's a third party involved, and in a way of, you know, I'd like to know what's happening with you guys. And this one, romantic sort of tarot deck, which I absolutely love. Victorian sort of tarot deck, I think that one is. And I thought I'd show you this one. I forget about this one, simply because it's new, new to me, I suppose, in my collection. And I really like it because it's, what's it called? Let me remember. Vice Versa Tarot. Okay, so it's really nice. It's quite modern. A lot of detail missing. You know, we talked about the snakes there. You know, the burning tree, that's great. Adam and Eve there, great. Archangel. We've got the rays. We've got all that going on. But look at this. 2 for the price of 1. You turn it over, so you can actually read it like that. And I do like this, simply because, look, you've got the burning tree, you've got the mountain, you're seeing what's going on behind them, you've got the symbology going on here, you know, you've got this going on, this is the duality, you see, yeah, yin and yang. Some great stuff going on, you know. So, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I will come in more, but today I'm in the kitchen cooking, and on Tuesday I'm listening. Listening whilst working, waiting on calls. Lovely, okay. Passionate Saji, totally respect. You have to work, and in the nature of what we do, it's not Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Totally understand. Lovely always. I'm very grateful for people that actually say I'm listening, even if you can't actually take part. No matter, you know, and I do get it. You know, I would be also like, yeah, I just want to hear and discover, you know, maybe I've said something tonight that's actually helped you, as in with some of the meanings, despite the fact that you know a lot. You know, you never stop learning, and I will tell you this again. I read a lot. I still read books on tarot, still go back over my old books, still look at old decks, still sort of, you know, look at other people and their comments. And in my Facebook group, somebody actually just did an interpretation of one of the cards. I was blown away because she said she was brand new. And to be honest, she said something that I went, I've never heard anyone say that, and I've never thought about it like that. And she's absolutely right. And this was somebody, and I had to say, wow, that is amazing. And that was just a real gift, if you know what I mean, to get something that comes to you from somebody that says, oh gosh, you know, I only started this a while back. And she really meant it. Young, 20-something, by her picture, lovely girl, really, really got it. And she's definitely blessed with being able to look at symbology and be able to kind of connect it. It's a bit like being a detective, putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. That's what it's about. And, you know, there are people that just go, no, it's my way or the highway. It's whatever kind of reader you choose to be. But if you actually want to be as nuanced as possible and provide as much depth and actually keep learning, the only way to do that is to actually just keep searching and, you know, do your courses, look at your books, write things down, get the decks, you know, collect them, whatever, okay? And whether you like to read face-to-face, whether you like to do email, whether you like to do just one question, whether you like generals, whether you like festivals or events, or just reading for friends or family, or whatever it is, You know, it's really nice that we've all got our different ways. Okay, so what else have I got? Yeah, okay, PDF here for you if you are interested on the key meanings of the cards. So look at that, you can. There's the lovers, and I don't read reverse cards, but I put a tiny bit up there, as in on the top side, about that. And affairs of the heart is very basic. Go through the colours on there, whether you thought about it as a yes or no. A lot of people like that. I'm not a fan, but obviously it's things I've learned that I'm sharing with you. So yeah, you know, this is a great one. Okay, so if you're interested in that, that's also available on my website. Okay, so the website, of course, is tarotwithanmarie.com. Please do subscribe to the channel. And I believe that tonight we were able to stream out to Twitch. I don't know if anybody came in from Twitch. Sometimes it's hard to know. Okay, right. For once, I'm actually having a look. Okay. I don't think we've been able to actually go out to Twitch tonight, but we've definitely got quite a few going on here, as in with the website and my page, my Facebook page, of course.